Go live. And we're live? Maybe? Yeah, we're live here on Facebook. I'd like to welcome those joining us tonight. A nice evening edition. Nice and cool evening, by the way. Here in Estherville. I'd like to welcome those listening on our Facebook. To those in podcast land. And everybody joining us in YouTube. Rich, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody, and a good evening to you if you're listening live. It was a good nap day for me, kind of catching up on some rest from a busy work day. Mike, you were out on the golf course
I
this week today.
was. I got to
How'd you do, or how'd you do?
calling me out right away, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying, how did you do? Or all right, let's not worry about how you scored.
I shot a
Did you have
72,
fun?
Rich. I
Okay.
shot a 72 in
Did you have fun?
9. I had a great time.
That's good.
I went golfing with my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, and we just went out and had a good time. Nice little course up here in Buffalo Center. Yeah, it was a good time. We had a great time. So, yeah,
That's what matters, Mike.
yeah, it is.
Don't worry about the scores.
My overall score was, I believe it was like 140.
Okay.
Yeah. I've golfed once since I've been married. So, that tells you something.
I've never golfed in my life, so
We can go sometime. I like golf. Or are you one of those people that thinks that a golf is a good walk wasted?
no, I've never tried, so I am not gonna say I'm anti-golf or pro golf either.
We should go to the driving range. That's what we should do. But we got a big show for you today, folks. We're gonna start out with we got some baseball talk. The Cubs looking like the Cubs have looking bad. We have a interesting NASCAR corner as we're midway through the race. Rich, what else we got this week?
We'll be talking the NFL this week, giving you our locks, upsets, the Chicago Bears in Thursday Night Football, as well as recapping our predictions from Week 1, as well as giving you our power rankings for the first time this year, and maybe talking a little bit about Iowa football, as they're ranked pretty high right now.
Yeah. But first, what do we got to do, Rich?
It's time to roll the intro.
Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich. Okay, we're back. Okay, so last week we started our new poll, food poll thing. I don't even remember if I voted. That's how long ago I think I
I
voted.
think you did, but we'll see. I'm pulling up the poll right now. The poll was tailgating, and we're in the grilled section. We're just going to take the three matchups and take the three winners from each sort of category, and then once we have winners from the three matchups, we'll throw them all into a new ranking, and we'll rank them one way or somehow. Let's see. Did you vote, Mike?
I know I voted.
No, it does not look like you did unless you proxy voted through Danielle.
Oh.
But it was pork chops against steak. We had two people for steak, and I went with the pork chops, and pork chops got 8.
I thought I voted for steaks. Because steaks. I mean, pork chops tend to be a better, meal. Like a better sandwich for that. Yeah. Oh no. Apparently, I did vote for pork chops. I had voted for pork chops.
Okay.
So.
All right. So 8-2. 8-2.
Yeah.
Our two stakes were friends of the show, Ashley Couture, my sister-in-law, and our buddy Austin
Yeah.
up in Esterville said
Austin
steaks.
Tree Pack.
So, I mean, I went with pork chops because when I think of a steak, I'm thinking of a fork and knife, and you're going to need a plate.
By the way, we had steaks for dinner tonight. Man, were they
Yeah.
delicious. Hanson beef, people.
I had leftover chicken, grilled chicken, so.
Hey, grilled chicken's great too. So, okay. This week's poll question. I mean, this is like a classic. This is like the classic of classics. Burger or Polish sausage?
Burgers
What
or
do you
Polish
choose?
sausages. Yeah, we'll get that poll up shortly after getting off of the air tonight.
Yeah. Okay. So you ready to head into the week in sports?
Yeah, let's get it started by going around
Let's
the diamond and
let's
taking a
rip
look at
that
how the Cubs did.
let's rip that Band-Aid off. The Cubs were abysmal this week, winning 1 out of 6, went 1 for 5, show to show. Rich.
They did face some good teams with battling Milwaukee and San Francisco and Philly, who's all three of those teams are in the hunt for a playoff position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I mean, you would hope that the Cubs could maybe be a spoiler, but it's looking like when and if the Brewers beat them this weekend, the Cubs are gonna have to watch the Brewers celebrate a playoff berth up in Milwaukee at Wrigley North.
Man. But that being said, this week they have the Brewers. That game is going on now. Are you counting that as that game, or is there a
I
game
am
tomorrow?
not.
Okay.
So we just have the Sunday game with
Okay.
the Brewers,
And,
with the Twins,
yep.
and 2 with the Cardinals.
Um.
So we got 5 games to look at. We're not counting tonight's game since we went on the air after the game started.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. I think they're gonna repeat. They're gonna win one game.
Well, the Twins are doing just as bad.
So they get one win out of that.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. There's only 5. I'll still go 2. I'll go 2.
Okay.
I don't know where they're gonna get the wins. Maybe Milwaukee steps off the gas if they clinch that playoff spot, but probably not though.
Yep.
And the Twins are the Twins this year for whatever reason.
They might get 2 out of the Twins. They could get 2 out of the Twins, especially at
It's
home.
at home.
Yeah.
They're at home.
But I think they're only going to get 1. The MLB announced where their All-Star game is going to be in 2023.
Yeah, Mike, it's gonna be Seattle up at T-Mobile Park. I think it'll be the second time that Seattle's new field not new field, but it's the second time that their retractable roof stadium has hosted the game, and I think that the Kingdom also hosted it. So I think it'll be the third time that Seattle's hosted the All-Star game.
Wow.
22 is going to be in Dodger Stadium.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. Are you bummed that you're not in
I don't think I would have been
Oregon?
able to afford the tickets to go, even if I still lived in Oregon.
Rich, what did we learn? I mean, I guess you were living in Oregon and it was expensive. But
It
what have we learned about when you don't think you can afford it? If you might be able to afford it, what should you do?
Talk to the missus to see where the budget's at, not just assume that we can't afford it.
Okay, yes. But if she says you can afford it, if she says, okay, you buy the tickets. We learned that at the Field of Dreams game. If she said I think we can make this work, you buy the tickets, right?
All right.
You always buy. I'm just saying. If the wife says I think we can make this work, you buy the tickets. Why? Because it's a once in a lifetime thing. You just do it. That being said, speaking of once in a lifetime, I've never seen it. Rich, have you ever seen it?
No, I've never seen or heard it, Mike.
The ground crew got ejected in Baltimore. Can you?
Wow. So
Yeah.
were they chirping at the ump,
Um,
aggravating them, or what led to them being ejected?
so it was the Yankees. It was the Yankees versus the Orioles. Um, it's unclear.
Okay, yeah.
It's unclear what they did to deserve it. But they were coming out, and they were just getting in position because they had rain starting. It started. They were getting ready for rain to happen, so they get tossed out of the game. You're out of here. And I need to edit that, but they get tossed out of the game. And after they get tossed out of the game, they guess what happens, Rich?
Did it start raining, Mike?
Sure enough, basically immediately afterwards, it starts raining, and they have to call the game.
So the grounds crew wasn't allowed to come back to the field and do their job of rolling out the tarp.
Not during the game. They called the game pretty much immediately after the rain started. Said, it's over. Let's go home, folks. And after that, it was game over. The Orioles beat the Yankees, and they let them go home. And then the grounds crew, because the game's over, the grounds crew can come out and tarp the field.
Crazy.
How dumb.
I agree. It's got to be dumb. How do you? Is this a? I could maybe see if the grounds crew were maybe standing in foul territory and they were told standing in fair territory and were told repeatedly by the umpire, hey, you need to back up and get behind the tarp or get into your little area of the stands.
Yep.
where you stand, where you're at when you're not doing your duties on the field, or even if they were chirping at the umpire a little bit because the calls weren't going the Orioles' way, but just for no apparent reason, just ejection them, that doesn't make sense to me.
Nobody really knows, but whatever.
So I did a little bit of reading on it. Dude, I don't remember what news source talked about it, but I guess there were other stranger umpire ejections that happened. I read about one where the umpire ejected the scoreboard operator at Fenway Park because he put the tile on the manual scoreboard in upside down. The umpire, he was hoping it wouldn't go unnoticed so he could change it back out, and sure enough, the second base umpire noticed, tossed him out. So they played the rest of the game without a functioning scoreboard on the Green Monster.
So for a little mistake like that, you get kicked out of the game.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yep. I heard another one to where in the same article they talked about how they tossed out an organist because they didn't like the music he was playing on the organ. I guess he had just heard a new Nickelback song, and the umpire was like, Nickelback? Nope, not having any of this. Tossed him out.
I thought that umpire deserves a medal for that one.
All right, and the weirdest one I found was that these college buddies went to a Yankees game, painted their chest to spell out Yankees. So a couple beers into the game and some time, I guess one of the letters further down in the word Yankees wanted to talk to one of the guys at the beginning of the alphabet for Yankees, which resulted in Yankees being misspelled.
Did it?
Umpire rejected him.
I mean, okay, so Yankees. I mean, I can't come up with anything that would necessarily be inappropriate. They didn't spell anything like vulgar, did they?
No, I don't think so. I didn't save the article or put it into our outline so you could see what the spelling ended up being when they switched some seats for a little bit so they could chat with another buddy. But I guess the umpire kicked him out of the game and
Yeah.
I guess took the extra step of saying that we don't want these fans back at any other game at Yankee Stadium.
Well, that's
But I don't
dumb.
know what
That's
they
going.
have.
That's going over and above what you're allowed to do, man. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Um, they didn't do anything wrong. Uh, I mean, I've heard of some crazy ones. I really have. But that one kind of takes the cake. I mean, man, I don't know. Good on the grounds crew for coming out and actually tarping the field after everything had gone down. Doing their job that they're supposed to do. But, yeah, kind of ridiculous. So, any other baseball you want to talk about?
I don't think so. We're starting to see teams celebrate playoff bursts. How do you feel on that one when they're almost doing the same like on-field celebrations, passing out the T-shirts, doing the whole champagne for clinching a playoff berth, not a division crown, but just you've clinched a playoff spot. So the worst you can do is you at least get the wild card, but you're still in the hunt for the division.
I think a wild or getting a playoff berth, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. I think that deserves beers in the clubhouse. That's
but
it.
You pass out the commemorative T-shirts and pop champagne.
I mean, sure, if you want to, if you're getting your play October or whatever, take October or whatever the shirt is this year. Sure, why not? It's
Okay.
generic enough. Why not? I'm not upset about it. Everybody's going to get those take October sweatshirts or whatever they're saying for this year is going to be. Like, they're going to get that sweatshirt. The champagne? No. Come on now. And definitely not on the field. That's not something to be like, oh, we're making a playoff. You clinched the division? By all means. Throw a party. But yeah.
I mean, I could see throwing the party, doing the on-field thing if it's the division crown, or if you are a non-division team and it's like the final weeks of the season, you clinch the wild card.
Yeah.
That's your only way into the playoffs. Yes, that's worthy of a celebration and an on-field thing.
Yeah.
But to do the T-shirts and everything,
Excuse me.
and then maybe a couple later on in the month, do the same thing when you clinch the division or clinch the automatic number one seed
Yeah.
in the playoffs I think it's a little bit too much.
So is it noteworthy? Clinching a playoff spot is beer worthy. The coach comes in and has a couple 30 packs and says, beer's on me tonight, guys. Everybody has a beer. Throws a little party. Get your T-shirt or get your
In the
get your
clubhouse.
hood out. In the clubhouse.
In the clubhouse, not on the field.
Clinching the division. Yeah, we could throw a party on the field. I'm okay with that. If you clinch first place, now you're saying you're not okay with an additional clinching first place, guaranteed by week or through the first round.
Yeah, you don't have to play. You know that you get to play the wild card winner team.
Yeah.
No, I'm okay with that. But just to say that, hey, you've clinched a playoff spot because of how well you've done this season. I don't think that they need to pass out the T-shirts and have the celebrations, popping the champagne on the field. That's all.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think take that into the clubhouse, go away. And apparently the Brewers are going to do that in the next probably 24 hours. So, okay. Rich, do you see what's coming up
It's a left turn.
And very quickly after that, what is it?
It's probably going to be another left turn.
Because we're heading into the NASCAR corner. Presented today by Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated, Moline, Illinois, or online at their eBay store. Check them out, Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated. Okay, Rich, who gets the fantasy shout out for this week? Probably not me.
Oh, and it was. Let me get there for standings on the fantasy side. For
You, Richmond.
Bristol.
No.
Yeah, Richmond. Yeah, it was Richmond.
Right
We're
now
in
it's
Bristol this week.
Bristol.
Yes, for Richmond it was me with 264. Solomon came in second with 239. Mikey, you finished third with 232.
And 100 points on Tony. That's the important part.
Yeah. So through the first two races, the playoffs, you're also in third place with 409. Tony is in fourth with 264. And there's only a 20-point difference between me and Solomon, as I have 481 and Solomon has 461.
Wow. I like the playoff spots. That makes me feel better in life.
Yeah. So the Bristol race. So going into the Bristol race, this is a cutoff race.
Yep.
So the three lowest playoff drivers with the lowest point total are eliminated from contention for the Cup this year.
Yep.
And those drivers currently below the cut line, I don't believe it's taking in. The standings as of now, I think, are taking into effect the current results. They are Michael McDowell, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Alex Bowman.
Okay.
Surprised by any of those drivers in the cut line, below the cut line?
Not really. Yeah, no, not really at all.
All right. For me, I'm kind of surprised that maybe Eric Almirola is above the cut line. For me, as well as the Hendrick drivers have been doing, I'm surprised to see two of those drivers below the cut line. That's all.
Yeah. So, Rich, we posted it on Facebook earlier. Who are you picking for today's race? Or let's do our last week's. Let's give our picks because the race is in the middle. It's actually in the third stage, so let's get those before the race ends and we look like we're idiots. Who are you picking?
For tonight's race, I went with Joey Logano for my playoff driver, and on the non-playoff driver side, I went with Daniel Suarez.
Those are good picks. I went with Kevin Harvick and Bubba Wallace.
Do you want to know how they're doing right now?
Sure, we can give that update.
Okay, so the race is going on right now. Obviously, neither Mike or I are in front of the TV right now. I think that I have it on in another room. Currently, it looks like Kyle Larson is in the lead.
Yeah.
And let me switch sites. Your pick, your non-playoff. Right now, Mike, you're going to get 2 points.
Okay.
As Bubba Wallace is in 7th place, Kevin Harvick is in 12th. And my picks of Joey Logano and Daniel Suarez are in 18th for Logano, 24th for Daniel Suarez, who is also 2 laps down at the last Great Coliseum.
Okay. Speaking of the Coliseum, great transition there, Rich. I don't know if you have it on here.
I do have it on there, but why don't we recap what happened in last week's race, the Federated Auto Parts 400. Salute the first responders at Richmond.
Yeah. So your winner, giving Rich 2 points, Martin Truex Jr. I picked Denny Hamlin, who came in 2nd place. Rich, your pick of Austin Dillon won for the non-playoff drivers, finishing in 11th over Eric Jones at 21, giving you 3 points for the week, bringing your playoffs to 5-0. Brings you out to a 5-point lead in the full season. Rich, the interesting thing, you have done quite well this year on picking actual race winners.
I have. I think that's my 6th this year.
Yeah. If we took out those bonus points for that, I'd be smoking you. I'd be 6 points ahead of you in the full season.
I'll take what I can
Actually,
get.
I'd be
We
half a point.
mutually agreed.
No, we did.
Mutually agreed
Totally.
to that bonus pick if we
You're
picked the
smoking me
race
on
winner
that.
correctly.
Yep.
Um,
So.
but yeah, so we both were kind of right on it because you off air you thought that I took your pick of Martin Truex Jr. You were gonna pick him if I didn't.
Yep.
So I mean, and Denny Hamlin did great too, second place.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not upset. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. I'm not even mad. What? You ate the whole wheel of cheese? And you pooped in the refrigerator? I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
All right. So as you alluded, the Coliseum, they're racing at the last great Coliseum, Mike. But where are they going to start next year as an exhibition race?
As an exhibition race, and to commemorate the Olympics that happened there in 2 years, or is it 8 years? I don't remember. But they are going to race at the Los Angeles Coliseum.
Yeah, I believe they're going to do a short track setup in the Coliseum, and it will be the shortest track on the circuit.
Yeah, it's going to be a quarter-mile track, and they're going to race around it. It's going to be fun. I'm not sure how they're going to pull it off.
Well, it will be a smaller field, won't it? Because you have to not every NASCAR driver gets to race in the Clash, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's either way. There's going to be some interesting.
And it'll be the debut of the next gen car.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun, intriguing race. So.
Yeah. So other changes to the NASCAR schedule going in for 22. NASCAR is going to head down to the St. Louis area as they're going to race at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in the Gateway.
Oh, they're not racing at Gateway Motor Speedway?
No, I guess not. Coming known as Gateway in Madison, Illinois.
Okay. Maybe we'll... for me, that's a 10-hour trip. Kansas still makes sense. We got to do a Kansas race.
We probably would. But with the Gateway going onto the schedule, there will be no Pocono doubleheader like they've had the past couple of years.
Okay.
NASCAR is only going to do 3 Saturday night races, whereas they had 4 scheduled in 21. And they're going to do an Easter race. They're going to do a race on Easter. That'll be the new date for the Bristol Dirt Race.
That is unusual. Normally they respect the holiday and they take it off, but not this year.
Yeah.
But no, it's exciting. We'll see. We'll see how the LA fans. You want to talk about rush hour traffic, man?
Yeah.
So, Rich, shall we?
Let's go, Mike.
This has been
our product.
The NASCAR Corner, presented by Triple I Sports Cars Incorporated, Moline, Illinois. Check them out for all of your sports memorabilia needs, either in store or online in their eBay store. Triple I Sports Cards Incorporated.
Yep. Sorry about that. I forgot we had to give them one more shout out.
Yeah, for free.
For free. All right, Mike, the NFL.
Yeah.
So who gets our shout out for the Pick'em? We have 4 players in our Pick'em league.
Well, somebody didn't even pick any races, it looks like. But let me get to it, man. I had it up and then I put it down and then I had it up. I need to make I'm gonna put this in the doc as a permanent link. How about that?
That works. So I had the most picks right in week number 1 with 11. Mikey, you took second. These picks. Yep, they got 9 points, and Midget Nation got 7. Dupo, Come on, Solomon. You forgot to make picks. You're at 0.
Yeah.
Laid the goose egg.
Or you picked every game wrong. And if you did
No,
that,
no,
if you did
no.
that,
He did not pick. He did not make picks, and he hasn't made any picks this week. Along with D's picks, did not make a Thursday night football pick. So if you're in our Yahoo Pick'em pool, make sure to get your picks submitted before the games kick off. And there's still time to join, as we've only
yeah.
missed 1
I,
week,
I
so
mean,
it's fine.
you could. You are, right now. You are tied with Solomon.
Yeah. Even if you
Anybody
join,
who
if you
joins
join this week.
today is tied with Solomon. Just saying. So, Rich, moving on from there. Oh, yeah, let me do this too. Just because.
All right, so week 1, Mike, we did pretty good with our predictions.
Yeah, we did. Look at us.
All right, so the locks of the week. So I took the Seahawks over the Colts, and the Seahawks won 28-16. Mike, you went with the 49ers over the Lions, and they won 41-33.
That
Mike,
game
how
was a
upset
lot
you?
closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there was a lot of garbage time points in
You,
Detroit.
Rich, picked the Eagles over the Falcons as an upset. Man, did that ever happen. 33-6. Speaking of 33, the Raiders got 33 over the Ravens. Mine came through on Monday Night Football. Speaking of which, we got to talk about Manning Night in America, or whatever that's called. Manning Night Football or whatever. And then
Thursday night, week
Thursday
2.
Night Football, we both picked the Washington football team. And by golly, did they ever put up the points and make the win.
Yeah, going back to the upset, I had no idea the Eagles would come out and just dominate like that.
Who knew Jalen Hurts was going to get people 30 points in their fantasy league?
Not me.
Yeah. Did he even get drafted in our league?
He did. He
Huh.
was one of the last quarterbacks drafted at the end by Matt Meyer.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at the draft, is like, should have taken a chance on him, on that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great late round pick. Good on him for it. And then the Chicago Bears, Rich, we both picked the Rams to win. The Rams won.
Yeah.
This week,
34-14. So Mike, when we originally made the prediction about Thursday night football, this is a snoozer. Not gonna watch this game. Did you end up watching any of it?
I didn't.
No.
I heard it was a
Okay.
great game.
It was.
I'm
I actually
kinda- Sad I missed it.
I watched it from start to finish. I was mostly watching because I had the Washington defense. I had Antonio Gibson. I had Scary Terry in a league, and 2 out of 3 really disappointed for me.
I didn't care. I genuinely just didn't care. My wife and I had a nice evening alone with the baby, and we just relaxed. It was nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, Mike. Week 2.
week 2. So, this week, the Bears are playing the Bengals. Who's going to bungle this game?
I'm gonna stick with my preseason pick, and I'm gonna say the Bears get to 1-1 this week.
Okay, folks, the Bengals actually didn't look terrible this week. Yes, they lost, but it was close.
No, they won.
Oh, they did win. They beat.
They won in overtime.
They
They
did.
beat the Minnesota Vikings.
They beat the Vikings. That's right. But they still looked good, and they came out and beat a Vikings team who is better than the Bears. I am picking the Bengals to win.
Okay.
I'm changing my pick.
And you're allowed to do that. So you're going with the loss. It's in the book now.
Yep.
It's been your preseason pick of a win has been changed to a loss,
Yep.
and I kept mine as a win.
Can't
Mike,
do it.
who is your lock of the week? I have honors this week because
You
it's an
do.
even week. And my lock of the week, I'm going to go with the Cardinals over the Vikings. The Cardinals looked really good last week,
Yeah, they did.
shutting down the Titans.
They
So I
did.
think they're going to keep it rolling.
Speaking of keeping it rolling, we're just going to roll it back. Tampa Bay is going to roll it back on Atlanta. They're going to win. Lock it up. Rich, this week, the upset of the week. I actually think the Vikings have a chance. Watch for them to win over the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow at 3 p.m.
All right, Mike, I'm going to double down on the Eagles, and I'm going to say that they get another upset based on the pick distribution.
Wow.
And I'm going to go Eagles over the 49ers.
I don't see that one happening, but okay.
There weren't, but looking at the schedule, there weren't that many upsets on the docket, I don't think, this week.
Not any that were close enough to feel confident in.
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple on the pick distribution where it was like in the 56% to 43%, to where that were really close to 50-50, which is why I went with Philly over San Fran. A little bit wider of a pick margin in favor of the Niners.
Yeah, I went in a complete opposite direction as you. I went for a big upset, but I also think that the Vikings can do it this week. So we'll see. This week we have the Carolina Panthers heading to Houston. Houston looked better than than anybody thought they would, and they won this last week. I think they keep it rolling. Let's go with the Texans. Who you got, Rich?
I'm gonna go with the Panthers.
Okay. Not a bad pick.
Sam Darnold looked like he was looked like a lot better quarterback than he was in New York, and McCaffrey is healthy.
Okay. And then any other?
So I guess.
Oh, we have power rankings.
Power rankings. Yeah, Before we get there, Mike, we saw Justin Fields take the field. He got in some spot duties where it almost seemed like he was being used as a decoy, just to hand the ball off. But he did get a rushing touchdown.
He did.
Is it worth starting him, or is it still worth keeping him on the bench or in his current role as kind of like a decoy with some plays here and there designed for him?
I have a question for you, Rich.
What's that?
What is the coaching tree for which Matt Nagy falls under?
Andy Reid.
What's Andy Reid's latest success story with a quarterback in his rookie year?
Having Patrick Mahomes sit.
I think we're going to see Matt Nagy say, guys, you got to let him learn. You got to let him see what the pace of this game is all about and understand the pace. And he's going to learn it on the sidelines. Watch out next year. He's going to come out firing on all cylinders. We're not going to see him until week 10.
Week 10, okay.
Week 11.
The way you were talking, I was almost thinking it was consider to put the red shirt on him. He's not going to see the field full time.
I don't think he's I think it's going to be this year. I think it's just he's going to only submit under pressure. That's it. It's not that he wants to, it's that he's going to have to. And it's going to be a call coming from upstairs, not from his choice.
Okay. I mean, with the way the Bears' offensive line played against the front four, or against the defense of the Rams, I'm starting to come around to coming back to the way I thought in the preseason when they drafted him and say, you know what, let's let Andy Dalton take those hits and sacks instead of Justin Fields, or at least don't put him in until you get that offensive line playing well as a unit.
Okay, Rich. We have gone through an entire week and one extra game. We haven't. Our picks are based on the 1 week, not the extra game. But let's head into the power rankings. This week's power rankings are on our old format. We're going to get a new format coming in pretty soon. We'll let you know when that happens. We'll get that working. So,
please bear in mind if when we give the results of what our current system says are the power rankings, they could be a little bit off.
Yeah. So this week, power rankings, number 1, Rich, who do you have? You have honors on the NFL. Who do you have for your number 1 power ranked team in the league?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Guess what? I do too. And that's where our power rankings fall as well. Rich, who do you have as number 2?
Number 2, I put the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I agree, and so do the power rankings. Number 3, I have the Los Angeles Rams.
That's where I put the Rams as well.
Okay, so we're 3 for 3 with the power rankings. Number 4, I put the San Francisco 49ers.
My number 4 team was the Seattle Seahawks.
I put them at number 5, but the power rankings ranked them at number 4.
Okay.
Rich, who do you have number 5?
My number 5 team was the Arizona Cardinals.
I already said, but my number 5 team is the Seattle Seahawks. Number 5 for our power rankings, according to the mathematics that we're using currently, goes to the San Francisco 49ers. Rich, number 6. We're back on target, it looks like. Who do you got?
I went with the Superchargers.
Yep, it's going to be them Chargers of Los Angeles. That's how I and the power rankings and you see it. Number 7. This is where we part ways.
Yeah. I put the San Francisco 49ers at 7.
Okay, I put the New Orleans Saints. The power rankings, however, have the Arizona Cardinals. Interesting.
The Cardinals look good.
Yeah.
They looked good.
They do. Number 8, Rich, who do you have?
I don't want to see them this high because they're my least favorite team, but you got to go with how well they played, and I put the Steelers at number 8.
I put the Arizona Cardinals at number 8. At number 8, the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to our power rankings. Number 9, Rich, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, according to the power rankings. Is that who you went with?
It was not. They lost, but yep. I'm still going on potential, so they were the highest ranked team that I put that had a loss this week, and I went with the Buffalo Bills.
I also went with the Buffalo Bills at number 9. To round out your top 10, Rich, who do you have in the number 10 spot?
I went with the Saints.
Ooh, you went with the Saints. I went with the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers.
Yeah,
potential.
I was struggling. I was struggling to put the Saints up that high.
Yeah.
But kind of seeing where the power rankings had them, where ESPN had them, where my gut feeling was. I ranked everybody before I looked at how you ranked them, how ESPN ranked them.
Yep.
And I had to move them up because of how well they played.
Yeah.
Now, if they come back down to earth and maybe the Packers and Bills do better, or if the Cowboys play better, get the win and put up good numbers, maybe the Saints move down. But you can only go off of what you've seen so far, which is why it's an eye test. So that's why I put the Saints there.
Yeah, and you were right. The Saints do land there according to our power rankings. Rich, let's go through the division, through the NFC North. I already told you that I have the Packers at 10. Where do you have the Packers, Rich?
I put the Packers at 11.
Oh.
Oh, no, I put them at 12. I looked at the average. I put them at number 12.
Yep, okay. Yep. And then
it was a bad loss, but you still gotta. Sometimes you gotta tip your cap. Okay. We'll see what happens if they move up playing the Lions this week. Speaking of the Lions, where did you rank the Lions, Mike?
I don't even see the Lions. Where are they at?
I put the Lions at number 30, Mike.
I have the Lions at number 31.
31. Okay.
I was actually going to wait to do the Lions and the Bears until we did our bottom 5, because basically that's kind of where they end up. But where do you have the Vikings, Rich?
The Minnesota Vikings. I put them at 24 this week.
Yep, me too. Me too.
Um, what I have on my screen says 25.
Or no, I
But
have them
we're
at 25. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
we're around the same area though.
Yeah. 24, 25. That's, yeah, right around the same area. Okay, let's give the folks our bottom 5 starting. Oh, we'll do the Bears at 26.
Yeah, I did 26 as well.
Yeah. Okay, starting at 27, right? That would be, or 28. 28. So by the way, the power rankings have the Bears at 8, the Vikings are at 21, and the Lions or the Packers are at 14, and the Lions are at 31. Now let's get into our bottom 5. Jacksonville Jaguars, according to the power rankings, are 28. That's where I have them. Rich, where do you have them?
I also put Urban Meyer's Jags there as well.
Okay. 29. Who do you have at 29, Rich?
I went with the Jets.
Okay. I went with the Houston Texans. And this goes based off of potential badness. They don't look like they have a good team, even though they came out and were scrappy. So, yeah, Houston Texans.
Okay, I don't think we were that far apart on the Houston Texans. I'm trying to find.
Yeah, you have
them.
27.
27. Yeah, we weren't that far off on the Texans though. 30. We both said. I put the Lions at 30.
I put the Jets at 30, and the power rankings put them at 30. By the way, the power rankings put the Atlanta Falcons at 29. We've already said it. The Detroit Lions end up at 31 for both me and the power rankings. Rich, who do you have at 31?
I put the Atlanta Falcons because of how badly they lost
They did.
to those Eagles.
Folks, I mean, if you had to guess, I could give you 5 guesses. The first 4 don't count because I think everybody agrees with our number 32.
The New York Football Giants.
Yep. We all thought that the Houston Texans were going to be that team. No. The Jets were going to be that team. Nope.
The Lions.
The Lions. Heck, some people thought the Bears. I don't see how the Giants can put together a win this year. They're going to have to prove me wrong, and I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Rich, notable teams are there any notable teams outside of what we normally would cover that you'd like to talk about? Some that you think I ranked too low, you ranked too low, or the power rankings ranked too low and or too high?
You know, I'm not. It's still too early for me to put stock in the numbers on where the power rankings go. So I'm just going to look at this between how we rank the teams.
Okay.
And it seems like this is always like a talking point for us when we come to power rankings. But the Dallas Cowboys, there's like a 9.99 number gap between our ranks. I put them at 11. You put them at 20.
Yeah. So it's kind of how we do our power rankings different, though.
Okay.
Because tell the folks your kind of theory on the power rankings.
I mean, I do rank them without looking at what any other site does. I do rank them 1 through 32.
I agree. But
however,
isn't your theory when you rank them based on likelihood to make the playoffs?
It is a little bit likely how to do the playoffs. And yes, the Cowboys lost, but they kept up with a really good Tampa team.
And you know what?
They did get a little bit of points on my end for that.
I am on the hype train of them being a better team, and if you look, they are the top team in their division.
Yeah.
As I rank them. They're going to make it in because they're in the worst division in the league. The South is actually looking to challenge them for that.
Mm-hmm. I could agree with that.
But the AFC South, by the way, is looking to challenge them. Not the NFC South. The AFC South is looking to challenge them for the worst division in football. But because they're in such a terror... Here's my thing. Head-to-head. If you put the Cowboys head-to-head against who do you have ranked 12? You have the Green Bay Packers ranked 12. In a head-to-head match, who's going to win?
Based on how the two teams played in week 1 and maybe with the potential, right now I'd have to go with Dallas.
We say that, but you say that, and I think you truly, like, I think if you look at their only that, but if you look at what they have for talent on the team, do you hold fast to that?
Yes.
Okay. You're stubborn sometimes, but
I am stubborn, and I'm also looking this as an anti-Packers fan.
You are
as well.
By the way, I would also use the argument that you generally would make, that the Packers are probably going to be the team in the NFC North to make the playoffs. But okay, let's move down the line. Browns. How about the Browns?
Yeah.
You think they lose to the Cowboys?
I think they lose. Yeah,
They
played a great game. They hung with the Chiefs. Could have almost beat them.
They hung with and probably were beating the number 1 ranked team on your list. Yep. Correct? Except for the last 5, I think it was 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. The Cowboys, how much did they lead in that game?
The last minute of the game when Tom Brady drove them down the field.
Yeah, it was just that last bit. They were not leading in the game until they took the lead right then and there. Yes, they were hanging in there. Yes, they did everything they needed to do. Yes, they probably should have won the game. They had some dumb mistakes. But, Rich, I think, according to how you have things, I think you should probably put the Browns above the Packers and the Browns above, I think, the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
But again, I think the Cowboys went up. I think the Cowboys at 20 is a good spot for them.
So you want to see what they do next week before you move them up any higher?
Yeah. If they look as good as they did this last week, I guarantee you they make at least a 5-point bump.
All right, and that's fair. It just seems like that's where our early season numbers, or even sometimes in the midseason, because even if the Cowboys are winning and I have them ranked high because of their record, you have them ranked much lower because of, well, who did they get their wins against?
You're telling me that's not a valid question?
I know, it's a valid point. It is a valid point.
Like, the Cowboys don't, I mean, yes, they did really well. Yes, I think I am more confident now that they're going to win the division. That if I had a sports book near enough to me, I might go place. If I was in the Quad Cities, I'd go pick them to win the division.
Okay.
I would 100% go pick them to win the division. But I'd even drop a dime on it. That's $100, by the way. I'd go drop a dime on it. Because I feel that confident that they're going to win the division. But I think there are easily 19 teams better than them in the league.
I don't think it's quite 19, so maybe I do have them ranked a little bit high, but I did use that logic of probability to win the division, of why they're above, why I have them above some teams like the Browns,
the Raiders. The Broncos, I can give you. That one is a little bit closer. The Ravens, by the way, I have them ranked pretty terribly too. But again,
all right.
So here's mine. I was gonna say, I mean, you always downplay the Steelers, even though this week you had them high. But Uh, how about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah, because I don't have them ranked in my order anymore. So I
I
put the
have,
Bengals. You put them at 13. I put them at 21. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right. That is a big gap.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
The
And they won, and
they
they beat a good
won.
Vikings team.
They beat a good Vikings team. Like, what's your logic for having them so low?
I don't. I think a little bit. Maybe it's for me. The only thing that I can think of right off the top of my head is that I want to see if they can do it again.
Okay,
I
I mean,
want to see if they can do it again. That's why maybe.
I would
I
argue
mean,
they're in the
the
second
Titans.
hardest division in the league right now. You have the Browns, you have the Ravens, you have the Steelers, and then you have the Bengals. So I can understand it's gonna be that they have a really hard time making the playoffs, but that's a long way away.
Yeah. I mean, I have the Eagles above them. They
Wow.
looked good. I put the Titans above them, even though they looked bad against Arizona. They had quite a bit of a fall down the power rankings from where I had them ranked before the season started, which was 8, and I took the Titans all the way down to 19.
Wow. Wow. That was that much. Yeah, that's a big drop. Um.
8 to 19, but I'm holding out hope that Tannehill and Henry can get it going,
Yeah.
since they are kind of readjusting to a new offensive coordinator there as well. And so I don't know, maybe I should have put the Bengals up a little higher above those teams to
Yeah.
be in the teens, at least around the where I have the Dolphins and Patriots ranked at 17 and 18. And maybe if they pull off another win and the teams above them look just as bad as they were this week, they could move up again. Just like your logic with the Cowboys, if they put together a good week this week, I guess.
Yeah.
They put together a good win this week.
Something just got real screwy on this thing. Something got screwed up on our. Oh, you did that. Okay. You keep auto doing the. Don't do it on the eye
Okay,
test one. Do it on the power ranking one
okay, gotcha.
because it screws up that page, and that's the page that I like. I think is the better one to use, and you can edit that
Okay,
one, and it doesn't affect anything else. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I like that. I like a lot of those arguments. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I personally prefer. I think the Bengals are one of those teams that you have ranked really low that should be higher. Um, and then also I would agree with the Tennessee Titans. You dropped them quite a bit. So okay. Any other power rankings talk you want to do before we go into our quick hits?
I don't think so. It seems like we're right around where we have the teams ranked just about pretty much in the same general area,
Yeah,
outside of the Cowboys and Bengals.
yeah. No,
So any teams maybe in the below 20 that you could see making a big jump this week for you
the
if they
Cowboys.
win another game.
The Cowboys. If they come out and play as good, 100%.
Okay.
I
I
think
mean,
if the Vikings come out and actually do something this week and can pull that upset up, I totally can pick that up. Um, if the Eagles win, do you see them jumping up higher?
in mind, yeah, I
Okay.
could see the Eagles going up, especially
If Jalen
because
Hurts
obviously,
if Jalen Hurts continues to look as good as he did last week, that's it. They might be the ones to win that division. So
yeah. So I mean, if the Saints can, I mean, if the Saints come back down to earth,
oh, win
that
the
I could
Saints,
see them going down,
go
going
marching in. Yeah, no, I totally
going
agree.
down, and mean, yeah, and the Bengals could go up based on how well they do.
Yep.
how well they do in my rankings. So.
Yep. Okay. Quick hits. The Iowa Hawkeyes, who won today, are ranked 5th in the AP poll, highest ranked Big Ten team. Is that inflated? Is it underinflated? Is it adequate? Or you don't care?
I don't know. I was if I'm being honest, Mike, I don't really care.
Okay.
It's cool to see a local team just down the road from the Quad Cities here being ranked that high. Will they stay that high? Who knows? If they stay that high, will they have a seat at the table to be in that picture for the championship 4 bracket? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So, Rich, do you have any shout-outs before I give my shout-out for the day?
I do not have any shout-outs
Okay.
this week. I forgot to mention it on last week's show, but we had a family reunion last week.
Nice.
So it was the Lehman's family 101-year anniversary. We couldn't do it on the 100-year anniversary of the family coming in, immigrating to the U.S. from Belgium due to COVID. So we had a 100-year plus one reunion and celebration.
Wow, that's a big thing. Today is my father-in-law's birthday. That's why we are doing the show late. We had a party and we had a great time. We went golfing with him all day. Happy birthday, Tony Phillips. Thank you for being such a blessing to my wife and I and to those around you. With that being said, folks, thanks for joining us. Rich, do you got anything to say?
Yes, Mike. If they're watching us here on Facebook Live and want to take us on the road with them, what else can they do, Mike?
Well, if you want to listen to us and not look at our ugly faces, you could check us out. Oh, just my face is ugly. Rich's face is good looking, by the way. You can check us out on our podcast at wherever you get your podcast. And if you are listening to us and you want to look at Rich's beautiful face, check us out on YouTube or facebook.com/ballsandsticks. You can find our podcast anywhere you find podcasts. Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places. Yay!
Mike, any comments on the Facebook Live feed?
No comments, no shout-outs.
All right. If you want a serious shout-out, if you want to shout out when we're recording live, make sure to type something in the comment section. If it's appropriate, we'll read it at the end of the show.
Or in the middle if it has to do with the conversation we're having. Rich!
It does.
It's time to
yes, we will.
roll the outro. Broadcasting live from somewhere in Iowa. This is Balls and Sticks, the podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Rich.